Not really, but I think that the constraints of and the demands of online journalism are such that you wouldn't really want to watch sort of a half an hour interview online. I think in the days gone by, you would say do an interview in a magazine, and it would be in a magazine. You would just kind of read through it, but you surely get an awful lot more out of someone if you sit down for a lot longer. And you're just sort of dealing in sound bites. If you've just got 5 or 10 minutes, you're just trying to get like an exclusive news story or a cool sound bite out of them. You have to work a bit harder really, and be a bit more on top of your game. Right, I've met. I said to Jim earlier on, I probably know more about football than I do about music. It's my passion, although music is as well. I've met a few footballers. I met at one particular event. I met Teddy Sheringham and Sol Campbell. I'm a Spurs fan, and I ended up. I was drunk, and I ended up sort of having a go at Sol Campbell because he'd left to go to Arsenal. I didn't find meeting footballers intimidating in any way at all. Teddy Sheringham was actually quite boring. I think if you're meeting someone that's a musician, they just have a little bit more charisma about them, and they're artists. I mean, I think football is art. It can be, but footballers are really kind of two-dimensional. So that would never be a problem for me. In terms of musicians, like I said earlier on, meeting Beyonce was very, very difficult because she was sat right there, and she's really, really attractive. Whereas when I've interviewed pop stars that I kind of just really admired, for some reason, I didn't find it that intimidating. Well, it's well known to be used in changing rooms before matches, isn't it? I mean, Stuart Pearce was a Sex Pistols fan. I think they used to listen to that in the Nottingham Forest dressing room. And many of the other, most of the players these days get off a coach and they've got some headphones on. In terms of out on the pitch, I mean, yeah, I would guess that having 30,000 people singing your name can only be, really, really inspiring. But I think it's generally accepted that in a dressing room before a football match, I presume most of these teams listen to, they listen to hip hop and stuff, don't they, to get themselves going.
It's sad, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, I think that the festivals have become increasingly commercial in the last 10 years or so. I mean, Glastonbury 10, 15 years ago was really quite a fairy tale experience. I mean, there's no great branding down at Glastonbury anymore, but it's certainly become a little bit more, corporate. But festivals such as Reading's not so bad. I quite like Reading, although I don't like its location at all. I think V is just an awful experience for all concerned. I haven't been for years. The ones I would recommend, Latitude is really cool. A lot more kind of low key. You're probably a bit too young for it. I mean, I wouldn't say you shouldn't go, but that's in Suffolk. Bestival, I've never been, but Bestival's supposed to be great. And in Europe, there's one in Paris called Rock on Seine. And Benicazam used to be really good in Spain as well, but it's unbearably hot, which can make it very difficult to kind of sleep if you bother going to bed.
Yeah.